What a nice journey we took together. Thank you. It's been an amazing thing to witness, the growing acceptance of spiritual fulfillment, not necessarily having to be associated with a particular religion. I remember feeling confused as a child because I felt there was so much divisiveness when I thought that the message was the same with every religion, just to love one another. So it just feels like it's been amplifying and expanding in so many obvious ways. I wanted to have this be a little bit interactive. I wanted to ask, when you think of this openness to spiritual experiences, I'm curious, what kinds of things are you noticing? Will anybody share? I'll give you a couple examples. I know that breath work. Raise your hand if you've heard about breath work, retreats, and experiences as a way to access the divine, as a way to tap in to that feeling that you are with God. Psychedelics. Experiences where you are altering your consciousness. I have a friend who is moving to Canada so that she can become certified in ketamine because it helps people get out of their conscious mind and it helps with PTSD. Yoga, Tai Chi, meditation, journaling. Anybody else? What else are you seeing? Charles.
God is always there.
In everything, in every way, in everyone. Amen. I mean, Trish is a friend of mine in this audience, and she had full moon ceremonies where we could just get together and be in nature. If God is everywhere, always, at all times, God is in nature. What a beautiful way to experience God. A few months ago, my son asked me, "What do you want for Christmas?" And I said, "You know what? I really don't want any more things. I really just want a shared experience. So you figure out, not just be together and watch a movie, but you figure out what we can do that we can experience together." So he and my daughter-in-law took me to a retreat where there was yoga and breath work and movement and singing bowls. And it was amazing to me because everyone in that group was like, "Wow, I never even knew this existed." And I'm like, "Wow, I've been doing this for 30 years." But I'm glad you're finding it. This is it's expansive, it's beautiful. And then for my birthday, I said the same thing. And they took me to Howard Christian Nature Center, where somebody was conducting a forest bathing experience. Raise your hand if you've ever heard of forest bathing. It's amazing. It's a great way to tune into consciousness, God, the essence of everything coming to life through an experience. It's facilitated by somebody who understands like what's emerging and where to be soft and put your feet and just honoring what is. It was beautiful. Are you noticing anything else? Yes. Ooh. Native American sweat lodge ceremonies. That's a beautiful experience. I have done that. Lyrics in songs. Subjects of movies. More and more documentaries. It's like we're being opened and we are willingly opening to this big surge. There's mediumship and psychic development. There's connecting with ascended masters, channeling, angels, shamanism, the body, mind, spirit movement. Most recently, I'm studying the work of Dr. Jean Houston. Are you familiar with her? So she's been around a really long time, but I just came across one of the courses that she is offering. She's best known for her work in the human potential movement, exploring consciousness through the use and the study of psychedelics. But when the US government banned psychedelic research in 1966, she and her partner shifted their focus to exploring other ways of achieving altered states of consciousness without the use of drugs. They found that we can reach expanded states of consciousness through guided imagery and body movement, which in essence reprograms the brain, leading to more integrated ways of experiencing the world. And I'm just beginning this course. It's called Unlock Your Quantum Powers. I'm already super excited about it. But to me, quantum powers, cosmic self, consciousness, they're all words for God. God is in all things, everywhere present. And Jesus said, "You will do great works, the works that you have seen me do and more." And it's only as we are open to exploring how else can God show up for me that we can deepen that relationship. So this course is highlighting for me this emerging story, this thing that seems to be prolifically, exponentially growing and being more and more accepted, different ways to access God. In fact, it was a quote of Jean Houston's that I used for the description of today's talk. She said something like, "There's something trying to come through from the realm of spirit, and the lure of becoming ignites and unites us, one and all." So what is it that's coming through? It's God. It's consciousness, quantum consciousness, cosmic consciousness, the light of God, becoming aware of itself in and through us. To me, it's like a calling to come into a deeper relationship with my higher self, to increase my awareness of the relationship between cause and effect, the beliefs that I hold, and the experiences that I have. The dance between fully relying on God and creating my own reality. It seems a little bit at odds, fully relying on God and surrendering, yet manifesting my reality. And yet it is a wonderful dance if we can engage them both and not see them as opposites. Accessing spirit to guide our choices to serve the greatest and highest good. That's how they come together. But still, sometimes when I go within divining direction, it seems elusive. It doesn't always feel accessible. For example, I was gearing up to do a keynote talk with 11 other speakers in Raleigh, North Carolina. And I kept trying to find like this super solid talk that I was going to memorize, and it was going to be all dialed in, and I was going to be so proud before it happened. And it didn't ever come together. I was so frustrated. I stayed up 24 hours, like I could not sleep for 2 days before. So you know you want to have energy when you're out there speaking. I'm dragging from absolutely no sleep. And I kept reminding myself, this is material, you know, you live this, you speak about it all the time. Why are you trying to make it perfect? And so the day of, I just went into prayer and said, I gotta trust. I gotta get out of my own way. I know that you are going to flow. So I'm just gonna open my mouth and you're gonna be the one talking. That was an amazing leap of faith. I really did not know what I said. I know I came across as poised because I was speaking in tones that felt rich to me. I know my body was moving, And the validation came when it was over. 3 people from the audience came up to me and said, out of all the 11 speakers, I was their favorite. For one reason or another, I was relatable. The story connected with them, or the way my presentation skills were received. All of that felt really good. But I kept saying, why didn't I feel the guidance when I needed it? Why did that feel so elusive? It almost made me think, I'm spiritual enough, I shouldn't have to go through that anymore. So it ended up that within 48 hours of returning home, I had 2 coaching clients. And they asked me how that talk went, because they knew I had been leading up to this very important keynote. And when I shared that story, they each broke down. One said, I totally needed to hear that. I have a summit with hundreds of people coming up in 2 weeks, and I don't feel prepared. I really needed to be reminded that no matter what, I can surrender, and I will be guided, and God will speak through me. And another client said, I thought you always had it all together. And to hear that you are human too, and vulnerable, and stuff doesn't happen the way you want it to all the time, really helps me know that my ups and my downs are okay. So it doesn't happen in the moment, but it always happens for a reason. And that's a beautiful thing to rely upon. So this emerging story is one of complete faith. Stepping more fully into cosmic consciousness is like having knowing replace doubt. And as we deepen that connection by committing to the practices that help us tune into the ways that we're creating our lives and our relationships in the world, that sense of trust deepens, that sense of doubt diminishes. The inner work we do shapes not only our own experiences, but the lives of everyone and everything around us. When it comes to the emerging story in our relationships, my sister Lauren is a great example. She had a tumultuous relationship with our grandmother for many years, but she was determined that it be a loving relationship. She decided she was going to shift things. In her own words, I'm gonna make that bitch love me. Sorry, that is really what she said. But she did it. She proceeded to pray for their relationship to strengthen and just demonstrated loving her. She would hug her and hold the hug longer than was obviously comfortable for Grandmama because she could feel her bristling under the hug, but she didn't let go. She held space, asked questions, truly listened, and Grandmama turned into a hugger. She was an artist, and she actually made 2 hugging bears and gave that to my sister for a gift. They became really, really close. And upon her transition, Lauren was given the most beautiful gift. She had a vision of Grandmama. Grandmama came to her and said, "Look at this." And Lauren saw castles and just a beautiful, welcoming, loving space. And she said, "Thank you." And she said, "What are you thanking me for?" And Grandmama said, "You did this. You taught me how to love." Only the good is what is in store for us. Only the good. But we need the journey. We need the contractions, the constrictions, so that we can return to love. But it is only the love that is in store for us. I often quote Einstein because he said it so succinctly. He said, "Imagination is everything. It's the preview to life's coming attractions." There is an emerging story, and it's the story that we actively create. So I want us to do an exercise together to get a feel for engaging our imagination. This is from the Jean Houston course. It's called The Art of Restoring Your Life. You may want to close your eyes. Let's take the possibilities inherent in the quantum world and work with them to restore our lives. To do this, you'll suspend disbelief and imagine very vividly that you can enter into a place where your own life story can be repatterned completely, restored from the story you're living right now. It's your second chance, your regenesis. In your life, no doubt, you've accumulated a good deal of experience. Chances are you've experienced a full spectrum of lessons, joys, and sorrows. But now you wish to consciously enter into the co-creation as an improved, more vital, more creative story for the years yet to come. So with your eyes closed, if you'll take a few deep breaths, and travel now to that place of quantum possibilities where you can choose the patterns for your life to come. You can try out new possibilities on the screen of your mind. Imagine things you want to accomplish, like a new career, richer, deeper relationships, travel. Imagine what peace would look like. Imagine divisiveness dissolving. Imagine the impact you'd like to make on the world. Choose the possibilities you feel most drawn to. See them in great detail on that inner screen. Feel them. And above all, know them as potential realities that can manifest into the space-time world in which you exist. Do this until you feel the living force of their reality. Know that the quantum field is drawn into your vision and is adding elements, coincidences, resources, appropriate people, ideas, and opportunities to help in the realization of your new story. This is where the interdependent co-arising of you and the universe together happens. The more often you do this practice, the faster it will grow to the point where desires that begin in you as merely imaginative possibilities will quickly become actualizing probabilities. And then, as opportunities come your way, you must meet them with gratitude as they begin to fit into this new story you've set in motion. Doing this daily makes it a practice. You may well find that something, and maybe many things, will begin to shift in your life far sooner than you might have imagined possible. The key to shaping our emerging story is healthy daily practices like this that continue to deepen our self-understanding and an embodied connection to spirit. Thank you for participating in that exercise with me. It really dovetailed nicely with the daily word today, because in the daily word it said, a storehouse of divine ideas is available to me in prayer. That exercise helped access this storehouse of divine ideas. Inspiration comes from that place. In the sacred silence, I claim these ideas and I affirm peace, plenty, wholeness, and energy. There is no limit to the spiritual riches I can draw upon, no limit to the wondrous things I can do and be. What an appropriate daily word for this message. So I said I would share 7 ways that we can more actively shape our emerging story. 1, we just did. Engage imagination. This to me is a commitment to self-love. Investing time into imagining the way you would like to see things go in your life and in the world. These are love stories that you spin up first in your imagination. So 1, rehearse your own love stories by engaging in imagination. Number 2 is gratitude. Give blessing to all, to the whole field, and to one another from the place of reflecting the incredible gifts and news from the universe, the riches and the beauty the world will gain from you. Give gratitude. And the 3rd one, ancestors. Give thanks to our ancestors for all they lived and in the experience of witnessing, or at the very least imagining the way they lived, honoring all they went through, all they endured, all they made possible with love and gratitude. And know that they have a sense of this. They have a sense of you appreciating them. You're giving gratitude, and they are noticing. And they are forever altered by your attention. Number 4, descendants. Give blessings to those who are yet to come into this physical experience. Our ancestors poured into that which we are, and we equally are called to feel something else, trying to emerge. The next human. Can you notice the witnessing of your choices, the gratitude of the story you are now living? Can you get a sense of their gratitude, thanking you for what you are doing today to restore the great chain between the generations, this great continuity? You are the term in between, the ancestors of the past and the descendants of the future. You are holding space for that. And number 5, infinite possibilities. Borrow from that realm of divine ideas, from infinite possibilities. Right now, breathing from the atmosphere of possibilities, we play out our lives as part of this greater story. Number 6, believe only good is being stored, and all else is on its way to good. And number 7, remember your quantum self, the infinite light that is you. You are the light of the world. When this knowing replaces doubt in our emerging stories, we get to relinquish the need to know, the need to figure things out, our human yearning for things to make sense. Thank you.